Alrighty guys, what is going up? I hope you guys are all having a great and an amazing day today. Now in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the top banking or the top financial stocks. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and overall, I hope you guys learned something. So now before we actually jump into the episode, I want you guys to go ahead and check out my blog, www.moneywithcarter, talking about investing, money management, trading. Pretty much you guys would benefit from it big time. So now let's jump into the episode, roll the intro, let's go. Bam! So now the very first stock that I do see value in is ticker symbol ALLY, also known as Ally Financial. Now the reason why I like them is because they're down on value, they're severely undervalued, and now what are like the financials for them? So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up their balance sheet right here. So Ally Financial, cash on hand. Cash on hand is one of the most important things that you can actually look at. The reason why is because during like a falling market or like a market of uncertainty, cash on hand is big time because that cash is going to be able to get them, through the next quarter, through the next year, for however long, the recession or the crash, takes place. So now the cash on hand that they have is $3.5 billion as of December 31st, 2019. So as of 2020, I'm sure they've spent some of that cash, whether that's, paying investors because they do offer a nice dividend. That could be, keeping their employees, stuff like that. And they're still making money. So Ally Financial, the revenue for the quarter ending in December 31st was $2.9 billion. And that was an 8% increase, which is pretty nice. That's not bad. And I do think with the stock falling, maybe I think it's 38%. I do think this stock is severely undervalued. So now let's go ahead and turn to the computer and look at support, resistance, and where I think this stock's going. All right, so we are up and loaded here. We have ticker symbol Ally or ALLY here, so Ally Financial. So as you guys see, this stock here hit highs at $35 before getting slammed, hitting lows around $10. So now during this time, we kind of had this like little consolidation zone where really it's kind of like this upward trend here. And I do think that this stock's going to have some resistance lines. There's going to be some resistance here at around 1838 and then all the way up at 21. But once it breaks above that, I do think we're going to break over these moving average lines, and it's going to kind of trade in between 25 and 32. And that's where we're going to have that little, where that's that 50 or 60% profit on this stock. And I do think that this one's an amazing stock to own. They do pay a nice dividend here, which is a nice little perk. I'm a huge believer in dividends. It's free money, and plus we're going to be getting the asset of it going up in value. And looking at it at the RSI, it's trading at a 34, which is still very undervalued. So I do think that we have huge upside with this stock. So I'm very excited. Only $15.20 a share, and you get a nice little dividend. So this is a perfect stock for somebody who's just getting started in the investing world, and they kind of want to have a nice dividend that's going to be getting paid on top of a nice little growth in the next couple of years for the stock to recover. So now the second stock that I do see value in is JPMorgan Chase. So this is ticker symbol JPM. The reason why I like them is because they make a lot of money, they pay a dividend, and they have a ton of cash on hand. So now the cash on hand that they have is $923 billion as of March 31st, 2020. So they have a ton of money, more than enough money to get through the next year or so. And I do think they are very undervalued. The stock, normally trades at over $100, and since it's below 100, I do think it's a fair buy. So how much money did they make? So JPMorgan Chase, the revenue for the quarter ending in March 31st, 2020 was $32.9 billion. And that's roughly a 9% decline The reason why I think that is because the whole coronavirus, I do think people aren't going out and getting new credit cards right now. People aren't going out and getting, home loans or auto loans right now, just because this is a time of uncertainty and people like to kind of hold in, get more cash out of the bank, stuff like that. So I do think all these banks are very undervalued. So now let's go ahead and actually look at the chart, look at the computer, and see what, and where I see the stock going in the future. So this is JPMorgan Chase. So this one's a very, very popular stock here. As you guys see, they do pay a dividend, which is amazing. What did I always say? We're huge believers in dividends. So this stock is up roughly 4.3% today. And this stock has this nice little uptrend, which is a huge bonus. So hitting highs at roughly $141 before falling off. And I do think picking up this stock under this 200 moving average line is the best that you can get. The reason why is because looking at it on the RSI, it is still undervalued, and I do think there is some upside potential. Of course there is. This stock's easily going to trade in between 120 and 135 in the next year to 6 months. Depending on when this virus kind of passes and people start to get home loans, stuff like that, this stock's going to recover. They have a ton of cash on hand, so I'm not really worried about them getting through this. I'm just more worried about how the economy is going to overall react to how long the market takes to recover. But I do think still getting into this stock under $100 is amazing. And under this 200 moving average line is a nice little purchase here. So now the third and final stock that I do see value in is Bank of America. All right, so now the reason why I love Bank of America is for the cash on hand. I'm a huge believer cash on hand is big time. That's why I'm such a big Apple guy, because Apple has a ton of cash and their expenses are very low and their profit is very high. But Bank of America, how much cash do they have on hand? So as of March 31st, 2020, they have $673 billion, and that's an increase. That's a 1.9% increase, and that's honestly very good, for a stock that is for a banking stock and having this whole coronavirus and have the market being uncertain. I still think it's amazing that they are still able to pull cash and keep the cash. That's really nice to actually see. But now let's look at the revenue. So as of March 31st, 2020, they made $26.7 billion, and that's a 7% decline. The reason why I'll keep saying it is the whole virus. That is it. And I do think that these stocks are undervalued. Bank of America, Warren Buffett owns a ton of it. And I'm a huge believer in his strategy and how he approaches stocks. And so I do think, maybe taking a couple, positions on this is going to be great. You're going to be getting a dividend. You're going to be getting all of this, asset going up in value. And I do think this is a great long-term stock to have. So now let's go ahead and actually look at the computer and where I see the stock going in the future. Let's go. So we do have Bank of America up here. This is ticker symbol BAC. So as you guys see, it's hit highs at $55 before getting slammed down, hitting lows at roughly $2.53. Now this was a very, very hard time for Bank of America. This was the 2008 financial crisis. So this was literally a blue chip stock all the way down to penny stock territory before slowly climbing its way all the way up to, this $36 mark. And I do consider that $36 mark that new high. I really think, looking at previous history for stocks are very important. But when you look too far back, like 2008, stuff like that, it gets into uncertain times. And I do think, the stock is going to bounce between roughly 28 and 33, just because there is this nice little support and resistance lines. So I do think getting into this stock here, especially under 25 to 22, is a great purchase. The stock has some nice support at $19, so it's still kind of somewhat near that support line. And if it falls back down, just average your position down and the stock's going to rebound and you're going to be in profit. Not to mention that this stock does pay a awesome dividend. Like I always say, dividends are one of the best things that you can have, because it's cash flow that you can reinvest into other companies, or just reinvest it right back into, you know, Bank of America. So I do think this stock has some upside potential. You know, if that say it just bounces, and I do think it could easily climb back up to $30, that's $7 a share profit. Not to mention, if you have, you know, let's say 100 shares, you're going to be getting a nice dividend on top of that. So that's a great stock to have. So that is it though. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and if you guys did, make sure you guys smash that like button. We'll see you guys tomorrow in another episode. Remember to always stay happy, stay positive, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Don't forget to stay happy, stay safe, stay inside, don't do anything crazy, guys. And thank you guys so much for 3,000 subscribers. It's amazing. We're going to be going live tomorrow, so you guys go ahead and check us out. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.